Welcome to Dynamina Show as a part of Digital Health Days conference in Stockholm.
Today we have Torbjörn Bengtsson, who is a business development manager in the region governmental area in Stockholm, which helps foreign investors to find business opportunities in Stockholm. Welcome, Torbjörn.
Thank you.
As we know, Stockholm Business Region recently introduced investment hot list made of digital health companies. What was the idea behind this initiative?
Well, the idea behind this initiative came from something we're seeing time and time again. We see that in many areas, not only in life science or in digital health, we see that there's actually quite many good companies coming out of this ground, fertile ground, startup companies, but not that many people know about that. And we felt that the hot list could be something we could use as a tool, both for working with the local companies, but mainly to communicate what's happening here. You know, show what companies, what competence there is, and kind of match international investors and companies with the talent base we have. So that's the background of the hot list.
For you as a business development manager, what is the most exciting thing that is happening in this area?
I think the most exciting thing is that health, as in many other industries, being to some extent democratized. Empowerment to the consumer, I think. We're still seeing that, you know, the public health care and the big caregivers might be a bit slower to getting on the train. Of course, they're using digital too as a big extent, but I think technology barriers are being lowered. And it's now possible for you and me to be part of this and take control of your own health, both from a preventive way, but also to interact with the caregivers in a new way. So that, to me, is the most exciting thing right now.
I can really feel your excitement and just want to follow up. What do you think Sweden is particularly good at when it comes to digital health, and what can be still learned from other countries?
I think if I'm starting with Sweden and Stockholm, because Stockholm is closest to my heart, I think the heritage we have in well, not digital, but maybe communication, because in parallel with the life science or digital health, there's a big cluster of IT and telecoms companies. We have the Ericsson heritage with communication, both mobile and fixed communication, but we have a very fertile digital internet startup community in Stockholm. I think that is a good combination. I think sometimes you need to have the big enterprise thinking and the deep technical knowledge, but sometimes you need to have the entrepreneurial spirit and that the younger companies represent. And actually, there's some recent study being made that's showing that Stockholm is the European city, the first European city in Europe in creating what's called a unicorn. That is a company that in a very short time received a valuation of more than $1 billion US. And we have 5 coming from Stockholm. And that is, this is great, and but this is not something you see somewhere else. So this is, I think, the upside, I would say, from Stockholm. Yeah.
But what can be learned from other countries?
I think many things, of course. Not everything is great in Sweden. I think some things could be better. I think we could learn from the US thinking really big. Yeah, that's one thing that could be. We think that Swedish companies, you know, small home market, we go international quite early on, but our ambitions is sometimes smaller than they should be, I think. So that's something we can learn from, absolutely. Yeah.
And you work for a governmental agency. How do you see the support from the government for such investments in digital health?
I think in many shapes and forms, I think to some extent the Swedish government has been quite early on in embracing technology and giving people the possibility to use technology. So I think we see some good initiatives from the government side. But I think right now actually the initiative is more on the entrepreneurial side, to be quite honest.
And given your extensive experience and overview of the whole digital health market and companies and what's happening here in Stockholm, how do you see the future of digital health?
I think it's great. It's one of the biggest markets, of course, if you look at the demographics of both the Western world and the Western world mainly. Of course, this is nothing new, but we're getting older and older. We're consuming more care. It's a huge market, and technology could be the enabler to empower the patients, as I said before, lower cost, and actually giving you better quality in your care. So I think whoever doesn't get into this market will be regretful.
This is great for whole digital health community. Thank you so much for coming and giving this inspiration to us.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks a lot again, and stay tuned for more digital health updates from Stockholm. Thank you.